Financial wellness. Reach out to them for advice at 855-DON-GINO. And now back to your hosts, Don Getling and Gino Fronti.
Welcome back to the second half of the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show right here in your hometown station, AM 1220 KHCS. Hopefully you enjoyed the first half of the show with Mr. Bob Geyer with Geyer Inspections, one of our good friends, and shared with you. Hopefully you're like, wow, getting a good inspector and knowing what to look for, or at least them knowing what to look for and being good people and well educated and on top of their game and in the know what's important these days with the changes and all that. Bob Geyer was the man. It was a good segment.
Yeah, I've known Bob for a really long time, and he's we really didn't have enough time to dig into all the things
I know.
he has
We're
to
like,
talk about.
oh, shoot.
Yeah, so we'll have him back for sure. And like I said, he was going to talk about swimming pools, and we didn't get to that, so that's going to be an important segment for the future.
And you can find out more by going to GeyerInspections.com. All right, we'd love you to join us for the second half of the show on the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show. We actually take the time and effort, thanks to Furman back there and Jennifer, to video this with 3 HD cameras. And you can join us in the Vault Media Studio right here at Skyline Home Loans, our custom-built studio, by going to donandgino.com. It's easy, DONANDGINO.com. Click on the live streaming button, and voila, and you see a very handsome guest here, backed by popular demand, Mr. Don SHERWYN with the Reap Rickett Law Firm. Thanks for joining us again, buddy.
It is my pleasure, Don and Gino. I love coming on your show. It's always stimulating to me and a real kick to be part of it.
Well, you do such a great job for us. You always bring us such great information, and your passion for doing the right things and sharing the right information is amazing, especially coming from an attorney, because a lot of people are afraid of attorneys and think you guys are just, in it for you. But your law firm, I know a lot of you from your law firm. We've had quite a few on the show. We know Jim Reap personally, knew David Rickett personally. You guys are a great firm, and thank you for joining us again.
Well, like I said, it's my pleasure and my honor. I think the thing that we're going to be talking about today is extremely important because
a little sensitive too, and timely.
It's sensitive as can be. Summer's coming up, and with the large number of divorced families that we have here in Southern California and frankly across the nation, it is a major issue. What is going to happen with the kids over the summer? Well, parents can do one of three things. They can either before or right at the time they file for divorce, come up with a custody plan that says during the summer, Dad will have 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever, and that will be allocated as follows. Or they can file, not be able to figure out what to do, and go to what we call the conciliation court. Those are trained mediators that work for the Los Angeles County Superior Court, free of charge. You go in there and you say, here's the situation. I don't think he can do this. I don't think she can do this. I don't think, but here's what we need to work out a plan. And you work out a plan. Or you don't. And then you go in, and the last choice comes in. And that's when you all say what you're going to say to the judge, and the judge works out the custody plan for the summer. And that's your three basic choices, and each one of them has good and bad points. The first one, of course, has the most good points and the fewest bad points. That's to work it out ahead of time as two adults who care about your children.
All right, we'll dive into that right away. Okay, if you just tune in, you're here with the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show. We're here with Don SHERWYN with the Reap Rickett Law Firm. They specialize in family law, and that's why we bring Don SHERWYN in. And he's clarifying, during this time, and we're going into all the holiday season, mostly the summer vacations for the kids and so forth, and what that means to you. And the reason we brought Don in is a lot of you are dealing with this. I'm sorry, but, over half of the marriages end at least, if not once, twice, 3 times, and children are involved. And it's a difficult situation, so we brought an expert in to kind of give you some ideas of some options or things to think about, because unfortunately, what a lot of us see is there's the battle between mom and dad, and a lot of times the children's best interests are not what is being considered. It's your interest, not the children's. And Don's going to help you with this, because this is a very emotional, very sensitive subject, and Don always has a calming way of giving you options to think about of how it really can be handled. Am I right, Don?
Well, I think that you've hit it on the button. How do we, as professionals, help our clients come up with a calm, reasonable, rational, workable way of interfacing with their former spouse so that their kids have a decent summer. And you've all faced this before. Anybody who lives nowadays has faced that problem.
I
either
faced it as a kid.
Face it as a kid or face it as a parent.
Right.
And the thing that I think is really, really important is to try the best you can to remember exactly what you hinted at. This is not about the parents accomplishing something that proves they're right. It's about doing something for the children, thinking in terms of what can I do to make my summer vacation period with the children as meaningful and as broadening as I can for them.
Yeah, so, I'm thinking about in my household, I don't have those issues, but it's still very difficult to plan for the summer, right? Even in a household where we're all on the same page, doing the same thing, trying to be at the same places, trying to be together, it's still difficult, right? So, now you got to add a separate element, two household, two separate families, sometimes not even in the same state.
Exactly, but you have just brought up one of the things that I had been thinking about, God, for the last couple of years. Parents that want to actually work together for the benefit of their family, even if they're split up. There's things that you can do to plan a whole summer theme. You've got kids. They may be of a range of ages, but what kid does not want to see some of the most beautiful national parks in the world? Well, here in California, we've got a few of them. In the western United States, we got several of them. Mm-hmm. You work with your ex-spouse to say, okay, this week, why don't you go to Yosemite and Sequoia? And then in the week of August, when I have them, I'm going to take them out to Bryce Canyon and one of the other places in Utah, maybe out to Zion National
Zion
Park.
or Moab or whatever.
So, or maybe you want to work on a theme of historical sites.
But what I like what you're getting at, Don, and I never even really personally thought about this, but it's really brilliant because this is where a law firm or a conciliation or custody plan, whatever it is that you guys can give suggestions that maybe they hadn't thought of. Because it's always, a lot of times it's, again, mom versus dad or who did better or whatever. What's nice is this is saying, hey, I'm not trying to one-up you. Let's come up with a plan that's fair for both the children and the parents. Meaning, you can't say, I'm going to take them to
Hawaii.
Disneyland. Well, then I'm going to take them to Hawaii. Well, then I'm going to take them to Europe. Instead, it's no. Let's be reasonable. Let's you take them, like you said, to Yosemite, and I'll take them to such and such amusement park or theme park or a national historic park, whatever it is. But I like that it can be fair and good for both parties, all parties.
The other thing to manage there, though, is, sometimes one of the parents has a more stringent work schedule than the other.
Exactly.
Right? So I'm thinking to myself, okay, if I was in this situation and I said, okay, I have 2 weeks with the kids, what do I do? How do I bail from here? How do I make that happen? So that could be a challenge for one of the working parents.
It can be a challenge, but that's where the other parent, if they have a creative mindset and they're thinking about what can we do to help the children, they probably know or may know or may be able to look up camps that are local camps that the children can, soccer camps, rock climbing camps, different types of activities that go on during the day so that the working parent who has the children for that week or 2 weeks can be busy but knows the children are having a great time.
Oh, that's clever.
Yeah, we send our kids to camp just to keep my wife's sanity.
Exactly.
Well, you think about, you're like, oh, now I got to deal with the kids for 2 whole months. So, kids, what camp would you like to go to?
Well, so, it's like, we signed them up last year. We said, well, we don't want them at camp every week, so let's hold them back 3 weeks. Let's not send them to camp. This year, she was like, well, let's just sign them up for every week. She's like, and maybe they could take 1 or 2 days off when they want to, but none of this 3 weeks off.
Well, and I guarantee your kids don't complain.
No,
they're like,
they
yay!
like camp. Yeah, camp is great.
Yeah,
But we also gave them the choice to say, hey, I'm not going to go today. So it's tough. Like I said, it's tough even in a joint household. I can't imagine what it's like in a split household.
That is exactly the point. one of the things, and this is where the professionals, psychologists, family therapists, conciliation court mediators that work for the court system, and again, their services are free because they're part of the court system. And if you have a case and there is a custody issue, you are going to be able to use their services and throw your ideas at them and get their feedback, and they will help you work out a plan. They're good people. They know what they're doing.
I like that. Well, we have good people here. Mr. Don Sherwyn with the Reap Rickett Law Firm on the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show. We have to go to break, but we have our last segment coming up. We're going to talk about, again, we're talking about this time of the year, child custody during the vacation months in the summer. And we're going to talk about how divorced families can structure that. And we're going to talk about time, planning, activities, and how to deal with fights. That can happen, believe it or not. All right, you're hearing it right here on the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show. Please don't go away. We'll be right back.